Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl Froch, aka The Cobra, former champ, Hall of Famer. You know the score. Listen, I'm about to get into what was a shutout performance by Conor Benn. But before I do that, this episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. So Conor Benn has just absolutely battered Chris Eubank Jr., wiped him out. It didn't render him unconscious, but he did flatten him. Face first on the canvas in round 12. Dropped him twice in a 10-7 round. And on my scorecard, he won every round except for, you could argue round 3 went to Chris, but it was a shutout performance from Conor Benn. I knew he was going to put in a performance. I've been speaking to him. I've seen him in the gym. I've been hearing from Tony Sims, his trainer, and a few other people around the campfire. Shout out to Mark Seltzer, a.k.a. Lester Diamond. But listen, I've just watched the fight at the Mercer Casino here in Milton Keynes. And before I actually get into the fight, I just want to say what a fantastic facility this was. We did a little meet and greet, me and the Haymaker. If you haven't already, actually, we watched the fight as a Froch along, here on Froch on Fighting, round for round analysis. We had a little chat in between the rounds. The renovator was there as well, Big Lee Froch, my big brother. And yeah, I just want to tell you how good Mercer Casino is, actually. I mean, they've got everything you need. The bar, the restaurant. I think I had burger and chips. Did you have chicken burger and chips? Chicken wings were solid. I had a couple of portions of them. But yeah, they've got every facility you need in the casino for hospitality. And if you're a bit of a gambler, if you do gamble responsibly, of course. The casino has the roulette tables. It has the blackjack. It's got all the fruit machines. I've just been to Vegas, and I'll tell you now, when you walk out into that room, it's like walking into one of them casinos in Vegas. It is that good. It's big. It's solid. The hospitality was second to none. Spoke to the manager as well, and he's got big plans for this place. It's a fantastic place. If you've not seen it or heard of it, come and check it out in Milton Keynes. And yeah, I'm going to get into the fight. I'm going to just tell you what happened. Conor Benn literally did what I didn't think he could do. I knew he could win the fight. I picked him to win on points. I thought that it would be a close fight and he'd probably get the nod because even, politics and all that, I just thought they could set up a trilogy. So if it's close, they give it to Conor Benn. But listen, it wasn't close. My scorecard reads 120-108. Chris Eubank Jr. may have shared the third round. The Haymaker had that one shared, so I shared it as well with him. But the last round was a 10-7 round, 2 knockdowns. So it was a shutout performance. From round 1 right through to round 12, it was much of the same, except for Conor Benn was able to press the gas a little bit higher and up the tempo in the last round, dropping Eubank. But from round 1, what he did differently this time, he was on his front foot, in the centre of the ring, dominating, similar to me when I fought Groves. And I don't want to talk about me because I've got no ego. I don't like to waffle on about myself too much. But listen, that first fight was a toe-to-toe battle for me and Groves and for Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. This one was Conor Benn taking the centre of the ring, putting Eubank on the back foot, a lot more feints, nice tidy feints. I told him to calm it all down, slow it down, save your energy, and he did. Little feints, little head movements, off to the centre, nice jab. He barely got touched. He got hit with an odd jab. He got hit with the odd right hand through the middle of the fights as he left his guard down. Because sometimes when you're dominating so much, you switch off a little bit. You drop your guard and you end up getting caught with a silly shot. And that's all that happened tonight. He got hit with a handful of silly shots. But he dominated behind the jab. Every time he got close, he worked the body 3 or 4 times. When they came together, he bullied Chris Eubank Jr. in there. He was able to lean on him, push him down, get his head in at the right time. He fought like a seasoned professional. He fought like a guy that had been in there and, had some top-level fights with some top operators. He's a fast learner, Conor Benn. Don't forget, he's learning on the job. He had no amateur experience. He's turned pro. He had a couple of years out with an issue he had, and, he's picked himself back up from that. And he's not been busy, but them 2 fights, 24 rounds shared with a guy that's 2 weight divisions above him, to be able to come here tonight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium of an event of such magnitude, 60-odd thousand fans, and put on a performance like that just shows that he is built for this game. His attitude, his resilience. I mean, he didn't need much resilience, but he just kept it going with a fitness. He never started blowing or breathing. Every time he went back to his corner, he looked like he was smiling, having a conversation with Tony Sims, relaxing. And round after round after round, he just dominated. Behind his jab, nice body shots, big right hooks landing, overhand rights were landing. Chris Eubank Jr. was literally soaking it all up. It wasn't a clean, clinical performance because the punches weren't landing flush up until later on when Eubank really got tired. But Conor Benn did everything he had to do to show everybody that he's in there to win the fight. And from round 1 right through to round 12, he dominated. He must have been thinking, similar to when I boxed Arthur Abraham, something must be coming soon. Chris Eubank's going to step on the gas and start working and start letting shots go. But it never happened. Now, was that because Chris Eubank was tired, or he's had a bad camp, or his weight drained? He didn't make any excuses. He was very magnanimous in defeat in his post-fight presser, giving all the credit to Conor Benn. He said he's been to hell and back. Did he mean the training camp took him to hell and back, or did he mean he's had a problem, which he's going to later reveal? To be fair, and without raining on Conor's parade, Chris Eubank didn't look himself in there. He didn't seem to perform of a level that we expect him to perform, especially based on that first fight, because in round 11 and 12, he really pushed home the performance and let the shots go and really went for it, and he caught Conor Benn with some good shots, and he got the win, deservedly. But there was none of that tonight. It was a total one-sided whooping from Conor Benn. Very little coming back from Chris Eubank Jr., but every time he tried, Conor Benn answered back. When he did land a couple of little cheeky shots, Chris Eubank Jr., maybe the left hook, maybe the odd right hand that slipped through, straight away, immediately, Conor Benn answered back and fired back and put it on him and fucking hammered him. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I shouldn't swear. Chris Eubank Sr. said to me, don't swear. But sometimes, to emphasise the point, I have to fucking swear. So every now and again, we'll slip in the F-bomb. But listen, that was a great performance from Conor Benn. I've got to give him all the credit. Fantastic. Absolute smashed Chris Eubank Jr. to bits and flattened him on his face in the end. And you can't say anything about that. I think that's the chapter closed, the book closed on the Eubank Benn legacy, because even though he lost the first one and he's won the second one, it was such a shutout performance. We don't need to see a third. Conor's talking about dropping back now down to 147. Now, I think here lies the problem. I don't think he can go down to 147 because he looks like a big 160 fighter. He's punching hard and he's fit for 12 rounds. Maybe go down to 154 super welterweight. Maybe that's his weight. But at 28 years old, Conor Benn, with the old Bunsen burner in the bank, can now do what he wants. He's banked the cash. He's secured the legacy. You know what? I might give him a ring. I've already messaged him. I feel like giving him a bell, but I'll phone him on my way home tonight, actually. But fair play to Conor Benn. Big credit to him. I'm so pleased for him. I'm proud of him. I know he's come through his adversaries and whatever, but he's back now. He's in the pro game. I think he's got the fans behind him. He's got the crowd behind him, certainly. And I just think that now we should get behind Conor Benn, start to back him, and start to look forward to what could be a really exciting career. It's probably one of the most exciting prospects in British boxing. You've got Ben Whittaker coming through, doing big things, and he's top talent. But when you look at who's around, it's like, if Conor Benn fights, you're going to get excited and you're going to tune in. Well, I certainly am anyway. But I just want to give him all the credit tonight. Mega performance, shutout performance. Fair play to Chris Eubank Jr. He came, I want to say he tried, but he didn't really look like he tried that hard. He didn't try hard enough for me. He didn't perform to what the event required him to perform at. So whether there was a problem or not, but you can only give it to Conor Benn for just throwing high work rate, solid, strong punches, and getting the job done. Fair play, young man. Right, before we go on, I want to tell you about my friends over at Zapply. As you know, I'm Carl Froch, aka The Cobra, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. An absolute machine. But I'm 48 now, and staying sharp, staying in shape, keeping the energy as high as it once was is not as easy as it used to be. And I've got plenty of mates, my age and younger, who are feeling more drained, low on energy and struggling to hold on to their strength. Men's testosterone levels today are dramatically lower than they used to be. On average, around half of what they were a few decades ago. And most blokes don't even realise it. Lower T can show up as lower energy, tougher recovery, slower muscle gains and stubborn fat. It just feels like you're running on half power. Now the basics still matter. Train properly, eat smart, sleep well. That's your foundation. But here's the truth. Even with all that dialed in, it's tough to get everything your body needs to perform at its best. That's why I use Zapply every single day, and I've been on it for some time now. It's a complete formula for men. Vitamin D3, zinc, magnesium, copper, and B6. Properly dosed, designed to support healthy testosterone and overall performance. Natural, independently tested, approved for professional athletes, and over 100,000 men are using it. So here's the deal. 30-day money-back guarantee. You can't lose. Try it, and if it doesn't work for you, you get your money back. Zero risk. Use code CARLFROCH15 for 15% off your first order. So, time to stop running on half power. The link's in the description. Let's go. So as mentioned, me and the Haymaker, David Haye, former unified cruiserweight champ and heavyweight champion of the world, was sitting here doing a watch-along, a Froch-along on Froch on Fighting during the fight. It was great. Go and catch up on it. Have a look at it if you've not already. But here's what David Haye, the Haymaker, had to say. So we've sat here and done a Froch-along watching the fight from round 1 right through to round 12, and it was absolutely a dominating performance from Conor Benn. What did you make of it? What did you think went wrong for Eubank?
Conor Benn, I think, was the main problem. Conor had a different strategy. He wasn't wasting punches. He was setting things up. You know, in the first fight, he sort of fought with his heart and was just, if you look, he was trying too hard and falling over himself. This time round, he was very measured and didn't allow Chris to do anything. You know, whenever Chris did try something, he countered him. And it's as bad as I've seen Chris look since the first Liam Smith fight.
He really did calm it down on the outside. I actually spoke to him and told him, when I think I was in Turkey, you was out there with us, and I just said, just on the outside when you're sort of bobbing and weaving and
relax,
doing a lot of feints and you're out of range, you're gaining nothing. All you're doing is
burning your energy.
Losing your stamina bar if you look at it on a computer game. And it did tidy that up. So I'm not saying I'm taking any credit for that. You know, Tony Sims knows what he's doing. He's calmed down on the outside. He's thought about it. He came in more composed, didn't he?
Yeah.
More of a game plan. More confident.
He didn't like someone having their first big fight.
Exactly. But would you say that change of his style and that little adaptation he made, would you say that's the main reason with his aggression, that he got such a shutout performance? Or would you actually say, Chris Eubank Jr. looked like there was something wrong in there? He didn't make any excuses. He was magnanimous in defeat. But he never seemed to get going, did he?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think Ben was significantly better and Chris was significantly worse.
Yeah,
that's what I think it was. That's what I think it was.
He did say at the end there that Conor Benn's punching hard.
Yeah.
So maybe you felt a couple of shots early on and then put him into his cage a little bit and made him think, right, I don't want to waste anything. So given that performance, which was a rematch, would you say there would be a trilogy based on that?
I don't think there'll be that much demand for a trilogy. It was so one-sided with that last the 10-7 round in the last round where
I agree with that.
If there was another 30 seconds, would it have heard the final bell? But I'm not sure what Chris is going to do now. He's going to have a real long.
Well, that was my next question. Do you think he carries on fighting? What are
he's
the options
he's going to need a bit of a rest for sure. Maybe this fight was too soon after that epic battle.
6 months though.
6 months. I know.
Now.
Yeah, but people have operations. He was in a bad way after that fight.
Touch and go apparently.
Yeah. Maybe he needs a rest. Maybe he needs a year. But then again, he's going to be 38 by that point. So
he'll be in his 38th year then.
He's going to have to start thinking about what he wants to do. But he's a talented fighter. But whatever he came into the ring with tonight wasn't. So that's not winning any world titles anytime soon.
No chance. So it's looking like it could be the end of Chris Eubank Jr. But for Conor Benn, he's still got a potential career ahead of him. 28 years old.
Doesn't have a potential career. He's got a hell of a career ahead of him.
Has he got a potential of becoming world champion now?
What part of that performance could you say isn't good enough to win at super welterweight?
Yeah, that's a strong argument. I mean, that
was a performance against a legitimate.
And I'm glad he said super
fighter.
Welterweight, which is the old light middleweight, 154 pounds, not the 147 he's talking about going back down to.
I'd highly recommend him not going.
That's
a lot of weight because there was nothing on him. He's a middleweight in there with low body fat. It's all good lean muscle. You can't take muscle off like that.
We've seen it in the past, haven't we? Like with
Roy Jones, yeah.
He came down from heavy, came down, then he got knocked out by Tarver. Glenkov Johnson.
Yep.
I knocked out Glenkov. I didn't knock him out, but I beat him up. Just slip that in there. So
it was a tough fight.
On paper, I beat Mike Tyson, but we're not going to go there. But when you take weight off, you're taking off that muscle tissue.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And he's dangerous. So Conor Benn, maybe at super welterweight, could potentially have a great future. He's 28 years old. And that was a shutout performance.
It was as punch perfect as you can get in such a big venue with all that pressure on him after losing the first fight. You've got to give him full credit. He's one for the future, and he's definitely. Off the strength of that, I can't see what more he could have done for me to believe he's good enough to win a world title.
Yeah, absolutely. Conor Benn absolutely smashed it. Shutout performance. Unluckily for Chris Eubank Jr., he just wasn't quite at the races. We're not going to put that down to a bad performance from him. We're going to put that as a combination of a bad performance from him, but a supersonic.
Yeah.
Can I say supersonic? That's clean.
Yeah.
Performance from Conor Benn. That was Conor Benn's night.
It was.
He deserves all the accolades.
All the credit,
Fair play to him. Well done, son. So what's next for both fighters? I mean, we did talk about it there, me and the Haymaker. I mean, Conor Benn has still got a potential career for him at super welterweight, 154 pounds, the old light middleweight. I don't think he should go down to 147. I think because he looked big at 160, big and strong, and he's fit for 12 rounds, I wouldn't like to see him drop down too big, because when people come down in weight, they can get hurt. He's taking off muscle tissue, draining the body, and he's kind of grown into that 160 weight now. He's not a big 160 by any stretch of the imagination. So 154 would be his weight for me moving forward. Obviously, Tony Sims knows what he's doing. He'll guide him right, and he'll get him in with the right fights. He's got a potential, really good career ahead of him. I mean, he's made some serious coinage on these 2 fights, sealed the legacy. He must be absolutely flying high, because the first fight was close. He was gutted. The second fight, he's just put it all right, hasn't he? He's just cemented the legacy. I know Chris Eubank didn't really come and really have a go, but it was shut out. He got shut out by Conor Benn, so we can't bitch and moan about that. But what's next for him? Who knows? He's 28 years old. Probably fight at 154. The world's his oyster. He can take his time. He can pick and choose a few fights. He ain't got to worry about any more money, has he? He can just enjoy the last couple of fights with Eubank Jr. and think about who he wants to fight to sort of guide and navigate his way through to becoming an IBF, a WBC or a WBA world champion. I think he can get there. I think he can do it. But what I do think also is that he's just ended Chris Eubank Jr.'s career, finished him at 36 years old. On a performance like that, let's not forget he lost to Billy Joe early doors, could have won that, left it too late. He got beat by George Groves, and he got absolutely fucking splattered, didn't he, by Liam Smith. I know he come back and avenged that loss, but he still got battered, and that's not good. It's bad for your body, it's bad for your brain, it's bad for your soul, it's bad for your ego. He's come back in here, hasn't he, tonight, and tried to do whatever he's tried to do, but he's come up short. He's finished. For me, he's finished. Good little fighter, not bad, quite tough, no amateur experience. Can't expect him to go on and be a world champion as a pro. And he's proven that, you need the apprentice in this game. Not many people have not had a good amateur career that's gone on to win world titles. Bernard Hopkins, I mean, he's turned pro late. He never had an amateur career, and he went on to be a fantastic Hall of Fame fighter. But there's not many you can mention that didn't have an amateur career. And Eubank Jr. at 36 years old, after a splattering like that, face planting in front of all them people, Conor Benn finished him off. And I'm not giving Eubank any stick. I'm just saying it as it is. He's been El Sparko there, gone, legs to Bambi. I think he's now finished. What can he do? He can't step up to 168 and do anything, I don't think, at 36. So I'll close the chapter on that whole boxing book for him. He's done very well. He's made a fortune. He should be very grateful to Turki Al Sheikh, because he's been able to capitalise on the Eubank name, make a load of money. Now he needs to bow out before he gets injured. So that's it. That's the end of the legacy for Eubank and Benn. And this is the end of Froch on Fighting, unfortunately. Next week, I've caught up with Devin Haney. We had a good little chat, actually. So look out for that one. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, like the video, share it with everybody. Hit the bell so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you, as always, very soon.